Hello, and welcome once again to our weekly HudUniGames cast, coming to you from our own home offices. Today I'm joined, as usual, by Matt and Daryl.
Hello.
But we've also got a couple of students. We've got David and Sunny, who are joining us to talk about their game Wibble Wobble Wabble, which is kind of the main feature of today. Before we do that, though, roll the intro. Okay, so as I say, we're going to talk about Wibble Wobble Wabble, but I think before that we need to get to our weekly. We're in GamesCast013. We forgot to mention that, so that's pretty cool. What's on the box? Is back once again. This week with a special edition. You ready? 3, 2, 1.
What? What you can say?
You tell me. The box! Who's in the box? Oh, what's in the box? What's in the box?
That's what you get when Matt plays.
He's got far too much free time on his hands.
Yeah, but it's still pretty cool. Oh, I think who said rookie mistake? Somebody says about my intro sequence. I think you're right. We'll figure it out one day. Come back in a few years.
Today's probably the most chaotic one we've ever done because we've not really had time to prep it all.
No, it's marking season. So anyone who doesn't know, it's marking season. So we spend 99% of our day marking.
It's also Game Republic Submission Day. So it's
anyway.
Crazy.
Let's get to what's on the box. So Matt, remind us what's on the box.
So what's on the box is a fun little game where we read the description from the back of a game box and you have to guess which game it is completely based on the description alone that the developer decided to put on the back. So what's on the box?
Okay, up first is Daryl.
All right, okay.
You ready?
Blow my Twitch stream up as big as possible so I can read
Here
it.
we go.
Take on a legion of space pirates. Oh, that's not mine. Go on, what is my mind? Come on, you two will do it. Oh, I got to wait for the Twitch stream to catch up. Okay, yeah, there is. Yeah. Prowl and strike with lethal precision as ninja assassins Rikimaru and Ayame in the shadowy world of feudal Japan, armed with mystical weapons, shed blood with discretion, for only the unseen survive.
Tenchu?
I have not a Scooby.
No idea.
Matt sounded pretty confident for.
I'm trying to think if I can remember the names of the main characters from Tenchu and whether it was them or not. It's either because it can't be Ninja Gaiden because I think it's not Rikimaru. That's Ninja Gaiden is the same character from the Dead or Alive.
One character in that as well, right? Whereas that description kind of what you play.
No, in Ninja Gaiden 2, you do play as a female character as well. But I know, Tenchu is both male and female. So it feels right, but I'm not certain.
I'm with Matt. I got no idea. So.
We've got Busby 3D as a suggestion in the chat.
Right one, yeah.
Tenchu Z, yeah. That's what I'm going with. Anyone got any other differences? Anyone in the chat?
I have not got I can't even guess what from my point of view.
You didn't put a timer on it or anything, did you?
No, I forgot. So we'll be back. I think we're running out of time. So
Duke just needs to click.
Clicking. There you go.
Damn you. I thought I'd actually chosen something that was obscure enough for you not to get it.
I didn't know that was the challenge, to find the most obscure game we can on the planet. I'm going with games that people might be able to guess.
She's great, but I assumed that Matt hadn't played it. I didn't think you would have too.
Oh no, I've played it. I presume you're quite excited by their new one.
I didn't know there was a new one, so yes, I'm very excited now you said it. Woo!
No, what's it called? It just got announced the other day. Sony. It's called.
On the name of it, I think I know which one you mean.
Oh my god, what's it called?
Give me a second. Keep getting spammed on YouTube.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Is that the answer?
No.
Oh, I can't find anyone in chat.
Doesn't matter, does it? Come on, move on.
David just answered.
But anyway,
right.
their new one looks awesome. They did a whole gameplay reveal about a few days ago, and it's not Tenchu, but it's basically the spiritual successor to it.
Okay, you ready, Matt? What's on Matt's box?
What is on my box? So, let's wait for the stream. Okay, an epic adventure, a vast, amazing universe to explore, a best friend who coughs up furballs. You're about to go on a very special journey. Your adventure will take you from forbidden jungle to underwater ruins, through fiery canyons and over snowy mountains. You'll make many fantastic discoveries and learn of a sinister plot to change your world for all time, and eventually you will be forced to make a terrible choice.
Did you say fiery then instead of fiery? Fiery canyons.
5, yeah, 5.
Ghost of
Tsushima was the name of the Tenchu successor.
Daryl, I think you might be the only one old enough to remember this. Doesn't that first sentence remind you of Spaceballs?
I guess that, yeah.
But I don't know. When you say, I think I'll know this one, but I couldn't guess.
Anyone? Don David, you should
timer.
Got
to the time.
Should I?
Yeah, because you're young enough.
Ooh.
Daryl's too old.
It's not. No,
The only thing that I can think of is Crash Bandicoot. But
I was thinking
not
Jack
Crash
and
for a while.
Daxter. It's not Jack and Daxter.
I was about to say Jack and Daxter now.
Yeah, so was I.
I'll go Jack and Daxter. That's
Click and reveal.
Sorry, click and reveal. Yeah.
Jake's no good as host.
I'm rubbish on. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Right. So I think mine's up next. So what's on Duke's box? I had to star out so much of this because otherwise it would have been really obvious. So
You should have started it all out. Just
no.
a single word.
take it to the. Enjoy the something of your life as the world famous Something Simulator returns to redefine the something genre. Tackle new experiences, take your place in the community, challenge others and settle scores out on the whoever you are, there's always something at stake in. The 2 letters might give it away at the end.
Is this some kind of racing game?
Yes.
Take it to the track. Enjoy.
Pride?
Famous racing simulator. Dirt simulator? No.
Is it Formula 1? I'm just trying to think there's 2 letters. F1.
There's always something at stake in F1, in GT, Gran Turismo.
Time is up. So time is up. Go then. What are we guessing?
I maybe it's Gran Turismo, but I don't feel like it's. You're not a Gran Turismo player because you don't tend to play on console, or you're a PC racer, or at the most.
I'm going to go with Sega Rally.
I got nothing.
Sega Rally is my first idea, but the back of the box is terrible for Sega Rally. It's got 1 line.
Play Sega Rally.
Yeah. Basically, play Sega Rally. Oh, we've got a couple. Marcus is saying Gran Turismo. Well, hello, Marcus. Better joined us today. So the answer.
Oh,
it was Gran Turismo.
It's there.
Yeah.
I found it in my tub of games. You're right. I'm not normally a console player, except for Gran Turismo, which was a Sony exclusive. So I had to buy a console just for Gran Turismo.
So I presume you're going to be buying a console for a PlayStation 5 just for Gran Turismo?
Probably not. No. I've switched to Forza now for most of my driving. Anyway, so let's move on to talk a little bit about why we're here today, which is to talk about another game from Finally a Team Project. So, Daryl, if you could just give us a quick reminder of what Finally a Team Project is about for those who didn't join us last week.
sure. Finally a Team Project is one of our double-sized modules. So in first and second year, students do a team project where they work together between the game design course and games programming course, and they essentially work on first and second year creating little mini games in small jams. But in the final year, what we encourage them to do is work on a double-sized module, so twice as large as the first and second year modules, and stay on track for one single game. So they'll work on sort of iterations and continuous development of one title throughout that year. So it's a big project. It's the biggest project the students do as far as creating a game title throughout the entire course. And we put them in teams of about 6 or 7 to develop these titles. We encourage them to work with music tech students to create the audio. And the idea is that they create a vertical slice of a game that potentially could be published. We've had a couple that have gone through and been taken forward after graduation. This one certainly has its little wobbly legs, could be developed a lot further. I understand when Sonny can sort of elaborate on that. I understand that that's unlikely to happen at this stage, but it certainly is at the point where you could definitely sort of do a little bit of additional tweaking on this one, stick it up on something like Steam or a similar sort of platform and look for funding. It's great.
Cool. Yeah. So should we roll the intro and then David and Sonny can tell us a little bit about the game? So let's give it a shot, see if this works.
It's great.
Okay, so we'll just get some credits rolling now.
Okay, so we have David, who's one of the designers / producer type person, and we've got Sonny, who's one of the programmers. So trying to tell us a little bit about the game idea itself and how it came about.
Sure. So, we weren't initially going to actually be working on this idea. I think we originally wanted to do some kind of like shooting Doom-esque game, but we kind of didn't enjoy that idea. We kind of reevaluated it. I think we ended up like sat around in the pub and the idea came about. A lot of the ideas for this game came about as just like having a good time as a group of friends in the pub and just kind of figuring out what we wanted to work on, which I think helped a lot for the project overall. Just like everyone wanted to do it. It was a collaborative effort on a lot of the design. But the game is largely a Gang Beast and Stick Fight, which is like a 2D version of kind of Gang Beast, inspired brawler, where it's set in the Wild West. and we kind of just turned the sort of craziness up to like 200%. We added a bunch of like guns, explosions, like snakes with a ton of traps and like environmental destruction. Kind of plays similar to Gang Beast, but with all those extra things would be the best way of putting it.
Would you say there's any influence from like Human Fall Flat, or particularly around the character anyway?
Yeah. I hadn't played Human Fall Flat at the time, but me and Lewis played it like after we pretty much developed the game and submitted it, and we like hated how the characters felt in Human Fall Flat. They feel kind of like floaty, and that you're just kind of like a balloon, like walking around, to me at least. So initially you kind of like the theme of the character with how they look, but I feel like it plays like Human Fall Flat whatsoever. But it is like
certainly not gameplay wise, but more of that, I guess, the walking around of the wibbly wobbly characters.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was definitely an inspiration for that sort of character.
Okay. What about anything, Sonny, you want to tell us about the interesting technology before because we're going to go and play it badly on I would guess. But
do we have to?
Well, like David was saying, with the project coming from us having a few beers, it was actually kind of born from Lewis. He's not on, but he was the driving force because he created this tech demo of our wibbly wobbly character, and he was actually doing it over the course of the year. It's just like a passion project, just in his own time while we were at Canalside. So he kind of just built from that, and then every time we went to the pub, we'd have a few wacky ideas. Whack 'em is over. From there, yeah.
So should we go in and play it? See how we get on?
Sure.
So let's switch.
This is what I'm here for now. Play it.
Sorry, if Matt beats me, I'm like, you're never gonna let this. Never gonna.
Don't worry, I'll end up killing myself in the first 10 seconds.
There is a slight host advantage on this game.
Okay, so I'm host. So
it doesn't count then. If Matt wins, it doesn't count.
So are we all in the game? I'm the pink one, I think.
I'm the blue one. Oh no, you can't see me.
Is that a bug?
Yeah, unfortunately, at the moment something broke and I never fixed it because it was a huge hack to fix. But if you join late, you can't see people who joined before you until they update their character.
Until I update, if I just change my.
So if you
there we go. You've got a hat now.
If you toggle like your colour, your hat, it'll all update.
Okay.
Your colour's not changed though. Oh, there we go. You are finally blue.
There we go. I am the blue farmer. That's what I'm going with. Okay, so do you want to just tell us what the rules of this mode are before we jump in?
So you want to go for it, Sonny?
You go.
Okay. So right now we only have the one game mode, which is kind of like a battle royale style. So you spawn in, you don't have any weapons, you need to quickly scramble to find whatever is near you. So it might be like some knives, some revolvers, maybe like a big blunderbuss, whatever. And it is a one life, last man standing wins.
Okay. So one life, last man standing.
As I'm the my stream is the one that's going into the Twitch. That's a good reason not to kill me.
Okay. No promises. You might just die to the environment.
That is possible.
That is usually what I do within the first 5 seconds of starting to play it. In fact, I just died. There we go. Wasn't even 5 seconds. It launched me into space, so that was awesome.
Oh, you're not supposed to kill me yet.
Actually, I wish you could stream my screen because I am still flying. I'm not out of the game. The world is disappearing to a pinprick in the distance.
Let's get you where you go.
That's
for me.
Okay, so I can see everyone. So we're not shooting the pink one, are we now? Okay.
Oh no!
Don't fall in, Duke.
It's all right. I'm just trying to chase David because he attacked me, so I'm going to get him back.
Knocked out.
Oh my God. Why am I getting? I'm getting tag teamed.
Well, it's just me now.
Oh no! The train knocked me in.
I also got.
Is it just Duke now?
Yeah,
he's just running. He's just running away from me, aren't you?
Yeah.
I can understand that. I am a pro game.
Come on.
Come on.
Did you just throw explosives at me? Oh, there's some explosive there. Oh, shucks, that didn't work. Oh, you got me.
We got each other. Oh.
Did we?
Yeah, but it says I won, so I'm okay with it.
See.
Can we go again?
So when does it work at this stage, or is this a kill the game and restart it.
You can try it.
So if I hit ready, will it?
Chance if there's a physics error.
Do I have to go ready or back to lobby?
Back to lobby.
Okay.
Cool.
And then,
Nope.
I got the error.
okay. So
Just
are we?
restart.
Are we quickly restarting?
Yep.
If you do want to change up a slight bit, gravity scale does work. I disabled the other settings because they weren't 100% in, but the gravity does work.
Hey, you don't want to do the gravity thing because you'll still like you get knocked out.
Okay, I've hosted, so it just be GC.
GC.
Yep.
Yeah, the
I've got a joint server error. What's that about? Oh no, I'm in. Weird.
So you should.
No, I got a fatal error. Sorry.
There we go. I'm the green one.
If you fatal error, just try.
So how many maps are there at the minute? I mean, we'll just stick with this one. I think this seems to be the best one from my previous play.
Yeah.
Most complete matches.
There seems to be quite a lot of maps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 to pick from, is it?
5 maps. But we had some issues with some of the other maps when we did testing the other day. I don't know what was wrong with it. Everyone just instantly died.
I look like a green farmer now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is everyone ready? I'm going to hit start.
I'm not in the game yet. Hang on.
Oh.
It says I am, but I got disconnected.
Okay. So should I wait?
Yeah, let me slap on a hat and
Okay.
Is it just me, or do the train wheels still not rotate?
All right. 3.
They don't.
Do they not? I have to wait now.
It's probably for a week if I bump.
I think we have to wait now just to see the train go past, just to see the wheels.
The train wheels.
No,
they just slide past.
like it's train drifting. It doesn't need wheels.
Okay. What's this? All right, it's a gun, and I'm going to run over.
Like, Sonny, I hate to inform you, but you're done for.
Yes, I just wiped somebody out with some dynamite.
Don't believe it. The same
Was that
thing
you?
happened to me again.
Oh, who did I kill with dynamite?
I think that was me. I went flying across the map, so that sounds about right.
Mine just launched itself into space again.
What are you doing, Daryl?
I don't know. It's
Who's
a
alive?
replicable bug, though. Every time I play, I end up in space.
I think it's just you. I think there should be a bug report that says Daryl.
Who's alive?
I'm alive.
Oh, okay. I'm passed out on the floor because I jumped off a roof.
I'm just watching.
Is that a time-based thing that pass out, or is there actually a way? Because it seemed to me when I press Y that I could get back up again.
Yeah, so your bottom bar shows your knockout. So if that bar gets full, you get knocked out. So you get that from getting hit with blunt weapons. You can play dead. If you're on keyboard, it's R. I think if you're on Xbox controller, it's X.
I'm on Xbox controller again.
Then
Did
it's
you
on a
just shoot
timer.
me on the? I was like, I've got the Twitch. I need to watch my death.
Yeah.
And,
You got absolutely.
oh, I was coming at you. You said melee weapons for the win. So I did, and then you just shot me with a ranged weapon. I'm not sure that's fair.
It's balanced. What
That
can I
sounds
say?
like insider trading of some kind.
No.
Oh,
I didn't even have crosshairs.
Go again.
I'm going to host as GC2 this time.
so do I have to disconnect and then come back in again?
Yeah, if it doesn't work, it's.
Oh, dear.
It turns out doing networks, physics, and all the things that we decided to do to make our lives hard makes things difficult.
Let's bring that one back in again.
All throughout the project, we all just kind of wish we'd pick something easier, but at the same time, we thought it didn't, because like it's fun to do this.
It is. It's a fun game. It's a really fun game to play. I mean,
Daryl's having fun being in space.
Yeah.
I know exactly why he's getting launched. It's the thing that's happening to you, Sonny.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to survive a little bit longer this time. But while we're playing, do you want to talk us through some of your design choices, like why your guns fire the way they do and things like
This
that?
time he didn't even let me in. I got a fatal error, rebooted it, and I'm not in the game. So great. I haven't played once. Awesome. Which is probably a very good thing.
Okay, so you're just
All things considered.
Or abilities in gaming.
Why did you make it so the guns don't fire in a straight line?
We didn't want it to just be like kind of typical
How are you running?
third person. What do you mean?
I feel you were running faster than you then.
Who? Me? I'm yellow.
Sorry, no, David.
No, it's secret developer tech.
I'm going
No,
to say.
it
Whoa! What happened there?
Oh!
I'm going to watch that back on my Twitch. I had an environmental collision that went. Whoa.
I think
we all did.
I think I just got thrown into a building.
I'm outside of the skybox.
Ooh, excellent.
Go for the. Oh, Joe said go for the dual axes. I think I did that time, didn't I? Before I got thrown into a building. It's a shame there's no spectator mode. So
Matt, when you say you're outside the skybox, you did what I did and launched yourself into space, basically. As well. Yeah, that's it.
Did anybody actually like stay in the map?
I'm in the map.
I'm in a puddle of
I have to restart because I'm alive, but I'm flying away.
Yeah, so I think we all did. So nice little bug there.
Yeah. What's this one called?
Testing build.
Feature.
Well, it did make me smile that when we launched this game, it says whoever the player is playing Space. What was it called? Space War.
Space War, yeah.
Space Wars, yeah.
That's what I was playing for definite.
Yeah.
Actually accurate. This is Space War.
I think I'll be green this time.
Design choice for why the guns are not just point and shoot. A core concept of the game that we never managed to actually get in was that you would be able to like drink to regenerate your health. So you'd be like a drunken cowboy running around with like a bottle that you could pull out and chug some alcohol and you'd be good to go again. So we never managed to get around to doing that, but the actual physics of the character is still there. So the idea is that you are this sort of like drunken cowboy and you're stumbling around, and a lot of the difficulty of the game is actually trying to line up your shots. If we'd made it real easy to just point and shoot, traditional sort of third-person shooter kind of, but we wanted it to be this crazy sort of drunken Western brawl with like everyone coming out and just having like an absolute mess of a time, rather than being able to control what's going on.
Okay, so I think it's successful when it actually works. It's successful in being quite hectic.
Yeah.
Oh way. Oh, that's 3 for 3. I can't believe it.
I'm actually impressed that you've
yeah, how have you
done everything.
I don't know what you're doing there.
No, I don't either.
Can I project my screen? I don't know
No, you can't without breaking everything.
No. I'm just as my, because we've got our faces on. I'm just gonna see if I can.
Oh, Sonny, you shot me in the back, didn't you? Or did you axe me in the back?
Oh, you got two axe. No.
Went again.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I'm gonna say Matt's host is cheating.
I look like a dead frog now. Oh, who just grenade? Oh, did somebody throw something? Oh, there you go. Oh no, you just fell over. He's going to kill you while you're. Oh dear, this train's it's going to go wrong here.
Oh no, I'm going to run over. Oh no! Oh, quick, let me up! I need to run away. Run it! Oh no!
No, can't share that particular screen. Sadly.
You could have at least done your fighting over here so that we could watch it.
I do quite like the destruction as
well.
Matt
is running for his life.
I am.
So, Sonny, tell us a little bit about the destruction. Is this a destructible mesh thing, or is it more than that?
Yeah, so originally when we were starting on the project, it was actually a bit after they announced Chaos for Unreal, which is their new physics engine. It's in Unreal Engine 5 now.
Oh no!
Because we were in uni, we realised we wouldn't be able to use it. It required rebuilding the engine, and we couldn't rebuild it and put in all the machines inside uni. So we're actually using the old Apex system. Mark, one of our other programmers, he made a nice system that was kind of a helper wrapper to it, and it kind of let David do some easy customization of values so that we could have kind of destructible cascading through the meshes. So say if you whack out all the supports for a certain plank, those planks will then start to fall down.
Yeah.
And it saved David a ton of time. He still has to do a lot of it by hand, but give him a bit more control over it. That's most likely why we're getting some of the physics issues. A lot of the game is constrained on physics performance.
That Bush just had a great time. I'm watching Duke's screen.
Yeah, so random.
I'm just going around destroying everything now, just to demonstrate the destruction.
Matt, right? When you hit me with that axe, you like teleported across the screen, hit me, and I just died. Because you're the host, so you have like.
Daryl, did you know you're not streaming yourself anymore? You're streaming.
I think you wanted to show us all
Twitch.
Yeah.
Twitch.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it's just chaos, right? Okay, hello.
So what are we?
Okay. So let's do another map. Let's just show some of the other maps.
I'd avoid trains because we had a few issues the other day with just like
Try-
everyone insta dying.
Try platforms.
Platforms.
Yeah.
What's the server this time? Oh,
GC5
Oh dear. Hang on, I'm just
or 4.
Four. It should be
Four,
four.
sorry.
I've got 2 of those. I've got 2 GC4s, top one
Don't
and
worry,
bottom one.
anyone will work, Daryl. Don't worry.
That's definitely not
There's
a
some
bug.
spaghetti code under the system, under the UI.
All of it, Sunny's good.
Is this why you're called Team Spaghetti?
Yeah.
It was more spaghetti blueprints.
Are other maps different? So Sam's asking, are other maps different sizes? Any indoors so Daryl doesn't fly away.
Last time I was indoors when I flew away, I actually went into a building and it still went. "Brah!"
Yeah, no,
Okay.
you will fly really quickly.
Okay. So, this looks really hard.
Yeah,
Who-
this
who
is
made-
it.
Oh, great.
I made this because I don't like people having fun.
There's no way I'm making this platform. Duke's definitely not making this platform.
That's the.
The platforms give way underneath you anyway, so
I was still. I'm just
at
being
least they
killed
didn't
by a
find the
cactus.
space this time.
No.
Yeah, I
Alright.
didn't realise the cactus were quite so unhealthy.
Yeah,
So
on a
I've
game
been
with no
killed by a
respawn, that's pretty damn good forgiving.
Oh no!
Should we try that one again, and I'll try and knock
Yeah,
down
that was
my
kind of
my
it.
cactus?
It's honestly my
my point
favourite map.
in this
That's kind of like one of the sort of foundations of what we wanted the game to be, is that like a lot of the time it won't even be each other. Like you won't kill someone just by shooting them. Like you might shoot your shotgun and like a stray bullet knocks out the platform underneath them as they're trying to jump across all of that tar, for example. Just all kinds of like wacky environmental effects going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
In answer to Ash in the chat, yes, I know I need to capture the window, not the screen. But when I went to try and find it, it wasn't named anything like it should be, so I couldn't find it. I've got 100 windows open, as you're probably aware.
So, should we try not the platform? Because that just seems like it was made by someone who doesn't like people.
I want the other ones are just as hectic.
Showdown. What about
Showdown's pretty good.
Okay.
Isn't the showdown one just either side of the train track?
Yes.
And there's 5 of us.
Yes.
Okay. That
Okay,
should be
right.
nice and fun and hectic. Let's just all right. 3, 2, 1. I've got a shovel, and you're going down.
Oh no! Oh, Duke knocked himself out.
I knocked myself. I kind of jumped into the air without doing anything. So, and I'm dead.
No, no.
As soon as I arrived, I leapt into the air and landed in a cactus. So that's me
Oh
out.
no!
I will
Some
just watch
sniper.
the rest of the show.
Well, Daryl's still alive.
Yes! The woods.
Can we do that one again so I can try and join in for a
Stupid
few
game.
moments?
Oh, see, I think you definitely need to get replay again
yeah, rejoin.
because the rounds are so quick and hectic. There.
We like had respawning, and it's the layer of physics just adds like so much complexity to everything that we needed to do. Like I'm sure there's plenty of stories that you guys are. Was it the Sig Trap guys or Torchbearer? I can't remember who it was.
Well, Gary's in the chat right
Yeah,
now.
saying that they know like the guys who make Gang Beasts, and they've gone through like so many different iterations of it. The fact that it's even as good as it is kind of a miracle in and of itself.
It's a lot of fun. I just wish the rounds lasted a bit longer. But that could be just me being rubbish.
Yeah,
just more, I guess, maybe start further away, or I don't know. I wish it went on longer, basically.
I think more health and being able to restart quickly.
Hmm.
I think are the key things here to actually, because everything is just like so quick and hectic.
How am I knocked out again?
You got absolutely outplayed.
The shovel is very good at knocking people out.
Come on, wake up. There we go.
Oh, do you see me, Sonny?
Yeah,
Oops.
I think I got out of ragdoll and flung you, I think, with one of my weapons.
Yeah, you did. This is interesting.
Jukes,
Can I kill you while you're on the floor?
Oh, there we go.
There you go,
Yeah, I'm already dead.
Okay.
I think it's David
Right.
flying around.
And so I think Duke won because I'm technically still alive flying through space. So
Same.
I think I wouldn't. Oh, there we go. I just died on the spot.
Someone won. He was Noddy Jr.
that was me.
That's-
No, that.
I won because I was still alive in the sky. But
How did I die? I was just stood still.
I think like we've got kill boxes at like the level of the sort of tar or quicksand or whatever it is, and like sometimes I think the physics tries to figure out where you are and like it thinks you're below and just kills you. I don't know. Sonny can probably help me
it's
on.
something to do with that. I'm not sure of the reason. As you've noticed, physics is struggling, and Unreal uses an old version of physics. The crashes after each game were actually a physics error, but all the only details it gives are unknown function, and then inside the Fortnite folder, apparently, physics. So,
It tries to get you to buy Fortnite.
Isn't Fortnite free?
Yeah, but they sell skins, and it's basically.
Yeah.
so with all the trouble that you had with physics systems and online networking, was this a bad choice for a team project game jam game or?
Oh, 100%. I think it was a terrible decision that we did this.
But do you think it was worth it? Did you think?
Yeah.
Did you learn a lot from it?
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
We wanted to challenge ourselves. With having worked as a team on Little Awesome Dudes for like a year or however long it was, we could have gone into Team Project and made a platformer game and polished the hell out of it, and none of us would have didn't already learn during Canal Side. But when we were concepting Wibble Wobble Wabble, it's like, let's pick some stuff that's going to be difficult. Let's challenge ourselves and see how well we can do with it. I think Sonny was just like, I want to do multiplayer, and Lewis was like, I want to do physics. Yeah, everyone's regretted it, but at the same time, I think it's something that's turned out pretty awesome.
It's a wonderful little tech demo at the moment. It's not. There's so much that needs fixing as far as playability is concerned. But realistically, how much time would you have needed to make it sort of a fun, playable, polished title with the respawns? And how far away from that were you? Do you think?
In terms of like concept, not far. A lot of it's simply just stability. That a lot of it's been taken out. So respawning teams, that was all in. But we'd have issues with crashes, and as I've said many times, it's been really hard debugging this project because we've used Steam, but the Steam API doesn't function inside the editor. So any debugging we do for networking can't actually be done inside of Unreal. So it's all log files printed to the screen. And it's a lot of work. So.
The art's there. I mean, Joe needs a sort of special mention, and yeah, Jason definitely. Actually, because I think Jason really sort of upped his game on this. No pun intended. He, Joe came in going, right, this is the art style, and Jason had to learn quickly how to follow that. And the train's his, and it's just worth saying that the train's one of the really sort of like standout assets in here, and Jason created that following Joe's lead. So
I was
some cracking work going on here.
I was actually really happy with Brad as well. Like he hadn't done any VFX, but he was just like, I want to learn this. I want to give it a shot. So like all the explosion stuff, gunshots, smoke coming out the train.
Yeah.
Like there's a ton of stuff.
You really also rose to the challenge. There wasn't any there wasn't any dead wood at all in your team. You all had your roles and you all fulfilled them great, which is we haven't mentioned you specifically, but obviously all that sort of like level design work that you did, you were just churning them out. It's like I'd come in and see a new level, sort of not even every week. It was like, I've done this in the last 5 minutes. It's pretty damned amazing, and it's just rapid prototyping of all the best type.
It's the team as a whole. Like with what Finney was mentioning earlier about the Apex Destruction modifications that we made, it really allowed me to kind of create these pre-made little structures like those towers and those platforms that we're jumping across, have them in one map, and then I can just be like, okay, I'm going to take these, copy them across to that platforms map that we did, that one if you like. But that only took me 2 hours to make, and it's it's playable, it's pretty much done, and it's like a completely different concept to all the other maps. And that's just largely due to like everyone on the team pulling their weight, doing great stuff.
I also don't want to undersell David, because having somebody who's dedicated design and producer, it's made so much difference. Just watching the teams, you notice kind of, you'll see these things being put in, and you'll think, why is that being put in? And a lot of times there's not really an answer. It's just, oh, I thought it might fit. But kind of everything that goes into this project, it's been David kind of thinking, why does it need to go in? Why do we need to do this? And even as programmers, it kind of gives everyone context, and it helps everyone you can expand on it much more easy, and it's just really helpful.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that tends to get overlooked with a team project, especially at university or a game jam, is that you put priority on certain roles. So you put priority on art, you put priority on programming, but it can't be understated how important someone who's leading a project from terms of design and sort of moving things forward and bringing the different roles together. So say taking the code, taking the your own design. If you leave it up to an artist, it'll look pretty, but that's probably about it. If you leave it up to a programmer, it's probably going to function, but it's not going to feel right in terms of gameplay.
Yeah. I think this project, more so than Lads, I kind of felt like I was able to come into my own a lot, like having knowledge of art, knowledge of programming, knowledge of design, kind of being like, it helped to sort of bring the team together, because we had 2 new members who hadn't worked with us before, so I was able to help them sort of get to grips with the team, get to grips with like the software, help sort of whenever they had some questions, I'd be able to answer it for them, as well as also just kind of giving direction to the project. I know we spoke with some first years game jams, and it seemed like they were all kind of working separately, and they were all just planning on like lobbing everything on a Google Drive at one point and just hoping for the best. Me and Sunny were just kind of looking at each other like, this is never going to work. Like you need, it'll really help if you just have someone who's going around and making sure everyone's on the same page and working toward the same goal. So that's my piece of it.
No, I think you're totally right. It's very telling. Obviously, I mean, we do this year in, year out, and those teams that have somebody that actually gets exactly what the mission statement is, what we're trying to create, how we're going to do that understands that the game is a sum of all of its component parts and makes those parts come together. The teams that have that person always end up producing the best titles, and it's often the other titles really suffer where no one's all in charge, and it's sort of like, everyone wants to be the chief instead of the Indian, which, if you like, fits your game title very nicely. But it's true that you do. I mean, we've had that again this year. Teams that just seem to be sort of iterating on one sort of like set of function within the title, rather than considering the sort of game as a holistic product that is meant to be playable. And I think that's where you really, really should on, because it was something that was, sort of adding functionality, making sort of the level design clearer. One of the things we initially had in yours that I recall was that you couldn't tell which wood was destructible, and that was just a matter of choosing an appropriate color palette and saying, if we use things in these particular shades, these are destructibles, and you only have to play the game through for a minute, and suddenly you go, oh, I can't walk on that. That's destructible wood. Yeah, and exactly. And it relates all the way through the entire project from there on. So just really good design decisions all the way through.
Stuff like that is kind of where a lot of what I did felt really impactful, because you could just hand it to Joe and say like, hey, you need to make this wood a different color. And that might be like the only feedback he gets. But being like a designer and kind of like that producer role, I was able to sit with him and we iterated on it like 3 or 4 times in the space of an hour until we got something we liked.
Yeah, exactly.
We're doing playtesting in between.
That speed's amazing. I remember when you had the snake and it was essentially just a tube when Mark was sort of developing the initial sort of version of it, and I just said, yeah, that's great. Wouldn't it be great if it looked like, and we just Google image search for a cartoon snake, and it was 10 minutes later, Joe would create a cartoon snake and it looked wonderful. It's a snake that's still in the game, I think. Yeah. And it was just like this wonderful thing that appeared out of nowhere in 10 minutes, and you're just going, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. That's awesome. And it's they're a bit too powerful though. They're a bit Yeah, they destroy everything in their wake, don't they?
Yeah.
I've not seen the snake launcher yet. I don't think it was in that map.
Oh no, it is. If you knock down the tower, it's on top of the tower. Something.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hold a rocket launcher that shoots snakes.
Just what you need in a game that's already insane.
Yeah. It was kind of that was one of the things we wanted to do. Is just like every time we got down to the pub, we just had a massive list of like mostly what Lewis was coming up with. Lewis is a nutter. And just like, all right, yeah, let's try and get as much of that added, like if we have some spare time, just fun features and crazy things.
I would love to see this game finished. I know it'll never happen, but I really would.
Oh, we all do too. Honestly, we've all hated parts of working on this, but loved like the majority of it. Team's been great, game's super fun, concept's great. Everyone had. I feel like everyone's idea has made it into the game in like some shape or form, which is kind of one of the things that I tried to do throughout the design. Is instead of just being like, this is my game, like you need to do what I say, this doesn't make sense. Like that's just going to demotivate your team. Like just accepting people have good ideas and trying to shove it in and make it work. Like everyone's going to put in more effort because they're going to want to be working on it.
I think you also, to be commended, you had a big teaching team. You had 5 people giving you advice, and you took that so well. And we come in and say, "Oh, these guns don't work correctly, and you can't tell what's happening with sort of way the direction the projectiles are moving." And we basically went from what looked like a fire extinguisher to something that actually felt like a shot gun quite rapidly as well. And I mean, I'm still terrible at it, but they do actually do what they meant to do.
Yeah. Just look at that clip where I shoot Duke.
Yeah, we're going to be replaying that one over and over again.
Okay.
I have a question.
Go on, Duke.
I was going to say, is there any, I guess moving on from the game actually, it's just advice you would give? I mean, you've kind of hinted at a little bit as we went along about picking a challenging project, but for our second years coming into next year as final years, anything that you top tip maybe from each of you that you might pass on to them?
For programming, I'd definitely say make sure you're putting in time. If you want to be the best, put in time in your own time. I know you've got uni work and stuff, but a lot of the technical challenge, I'd say, we only overcame as a team because all 3 of our programmers worked on, maybe not even the game itself, but worked on projects outside of the university time and then took that learning back into the game. And I think it put us leaps and bounds above. So like we were saying with why we actually decided to choose the features, so the networking, the ragdoll physics, the simple AI, the snakes, it was all kind of these little features that we wanted to work on, what to learn about, and we kind of looked at on our own, and then we're able to incorporate them into the project.
Cool. That's good. I think that's I would echo that. I mean, for years, I think the passion comes through, doesn't it? So if you're interested in solving problems, you stay up all night long, or you spend 3 days just trying to solve that one problem in your own time, not because you're going to get marks for it or anything else. It's just a need to solve that problem, and I think that kind of desire and passion will serve you well through everything, really.
Yeah, speaking as the person that runs this particular module, it always startles me that you get certain students that almost resent doing what they came on the course to do. You would think that they were here to make games, and this is the biggest opportunity, unless you've been in Canal Side, this is the biggest opportunity you get to actually make a title in the way that they're made. You know, you're working with other people, everyone has their speciality, everyone's got their influence, and the title sort of comes together due to the team effort. And there's quite a lot of,
and I think
my experience anyway, quite a lot of teams that sort of spend half the time battling each other and not actually collaborating, which I find very frustrating. Someone was about to say something.
That's part of the learning this process of team project, isn't it? That's if we go through what the course is and team project from first year into second year into final year, it's not only about making the game. Obviously, final year that's a nice big part of it, but it's about learning how to work together, how to overcome difficulties, how to overcome conflict, how to get your viewpoint across and say, okay, well, I've got this view that I think the game could be better if it was this way. And actually, as David was saying, is actually having someone on the team that says, okay, let's try it out. Let's see if it is fun. Everyone can have awesome ideas, but it takes someone to lead the project and say, okay, well, let's try and implement some of that. So I just saw in the chat, Sam's asking if you've got any plans for next, or what your plans for this are.
You want to go, Snake?
Yeah. I'll talk about programmers. I'm not sure what Mark's planning. Well, we're working on the project, unfortunately. A few of us are getting in jobs saying, we don't like you being our competitors, please don't work on any project. Some of them have some leeway, but I know that Lewis, he's accepted a job and they're working on, I can say they've announced it now, Human Fall Flat, which of course is quite similar to our game, so he can't work on it. And he's quite pivotal to it, so we're not taking it on.
Yeah, with him being in charge of basically everything character related, which is like half of the game, kind of. Yeah, it was kind of disappointing to learn that, but it was understandable. People need jobs.
Yeah. Yep. So what we need is, if we need to put this video in front of a big studio who are going to give you a huge amount of cash and employ all of you to continue working on it. That would be the absolute ideal. Yeah.
Give us money.
We did actually consider taking it on and not looking at jobs, looking at setting his own company up. But with being a decently sized team, there is no guarantee that we're going to get that funding. Our project is great. I think we are great. It might happen. But we don't have that stability at the moment. So we might come back and look at it in a few years. Just have to wait and see.
Cool. Okay. We've just passed an hour, so if we get David's top tip.
Ooh, do I have to be quick with this?
No.
Okay. I got like a few. I like to ramble, but like I feel like we're on point. Okay. Good project management is good. Sunny handled a lot of that, but we did task allocation via an app called ClickUp. It's really useful. We handled kind of like meeting minutes there. We put down a list of like everything we wanted to add, and then we'd assign priorities and who's going to work on it. That was great. It meant that we could hold people accountable if they were getting work done, but also know where we should be at each point in the project. It's also, I've kind of touched on this already, it's good to have someone like me. That sounds really like stuck up, but like having someone who knows where the project is going and is going to listen to everyone in the team and try and make the team work, like not do work, but like actually have good cohesion, like is absolutely critical. Like I've been in teams in previous years where like some people didn't do work, or some people had massive falling outs and stuff over things not getting included or whatever. It's all about like being a group of friends, like go to the pub, like chill out, have a good time, get to know each other. Don't like have fallings out, otherwise the project's just going to crash and burn. Play to your strengths if you can. Thankfully we have like a nice broad range of people, but if you don't have a good 3D artist, don't do something 3D. Pick something like 2D and try and do that as best you can, but also don't be afraid to try new things. I don't really do audio stuff, but I handled like a lot of the audio for the game. Brad had never done VFX, but he just jumped into VFX because it's going to make the project better. And lastly, don't be afraid to say no to feedback. Like there's plenty of times where the lecturers or torchbearer guys or Sigtrap would give us an idea, and we'd have a meeting as a team to discuss the feedback and be like, this doesn't work for what we want to do, we're not going to do it. Their feedback isn't do this, it's an idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Treating it as you should do this is a great way to run your project into the ground. Like just have it crash and burn, honestly. Just don't be afraid to tell Darryl.
And I've got to say that we constantly warn against that. We're always saying this is just an idea. Have you considered? Not, hey guys, change everything you're doing and go down this route. It's just, you just throw ideas into the mix. Sometimes they're good ideas. Sometimes they're terrible ideas that don't fit.
I think it's easy.
You've got to do that. You've got to be brave enough to tell the lecturers, no, that's not what we're making. Go away.
It's easy to feel like they're in charge and you have to do what they say. That's not the case.
No, and it's never meant to
half the time they're wrong and you shouldn't do what they say.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree.
Unless it's Darren, it's like 90% of the time.
Yeah, 90%. Yeah. I was going to drop the same comment and say 100%, but never mind.
Oh, okay.
You're being nicer.
You know, that's pretty much all mine.
Excellent. Oh, that was really good. I think I hope for some of our first and second years are listening and can benefit from some of that.
Yeah, I think between last week's feedback comments and this week's, there's some really good points there that any second year going into final year should be considering, and taking it on board to how they scope their game, how they work together, and more importantly, how they get the best out of their final year. Because saying that it doesn't just apply to team project, is feedback and criticism is really important for developing skills. So whether it's 3D, whether it's for prototyping, whether it's for advanced phase, is that we're there to bounce ideas off, sort of try and guide you in a way that we think will push you to where you need to be for industry. But sometimes actually it's just bouncing ideas and having a discussion. The best things tend to come from those discussions. So
Cool.
Keep that in mind for next year as you're going into your final year. Or if you're watching on YouTube and you're just about to start the course, keep it in mind as you're going through first year and second year as you go through your degree.
Cool. Okay, I think we can probably wrap up there. Sonny and David, is there anything you want to just add before we finish up? Or are you...
No, I think that's all. Just for advice, because you've given advice to the first and second years. Portfolio work, do it. Make sure you do it. It's been great. Like, as I said, a lot of the team's been looking at jobs. So what's been happening in the past few months is we're all working on portfolios, all getting interviews. A lot of my success has been portfolio work and kind of proof through these team projects, having it as a portfolio piece, but then also having these extra things. Because like I said, the networking and the physics were the two main features we highlighted from a technical point of view, and those have been great portfolio things to kind of mention and explain why we've gone through it.
Cool.
For anyone who, I mean, I know you guys like restructuring the course to be, you've got like design, art, and programming now, right?
Not programming, it's more
Production.
technology. There's a video on that a few minutes ago actually about that.
Yeah. I don't know how the design one's going to go, but for anyone who is going onto the design one, I went onto the course before I got split up, so it was very difficult at times to kind of feel like I had a place, because there's like a big push for art modules. And a lot of the design is kind of more concept work. Team project is like largely your part or your time to sort of shine. It's where you're going to get like your portfolio pieces. If I hadn't like dumped so much time into team project this year, like probably I wouldn't have ended up with a really strong portfolio piece where I can show it to someone and be like, yeah, I did lead design, production on all of this and handled like so much of it. Because unless you can like be super talented and actually do art, which I'm not that great at, you're gonna struggle to sort of make games on your own.
Oh, great stuff. Thank you all for joining. Oh, it's just a reminder. Obviously, you're watching on Twitch or YouTube right now, but we have an Instagram. We do actually have a Twitter, but the link isn't there because who uses Twitter. But yeah, follow the Instagram for Matt tries to put out imagery of great pieces of work and things like that. So yeah, it's worth following on that one, I think.
Yeah, now that we've got a lot of the submissions in for this year, I'm going to be going through posting regularly on there of student work. So not only students, keep an eye out because I'll be tagging you in it if you've followed the account, but I'll also anyone that's looking at the course, go and have a look at that and see what the students are doing and follow their Instagram accounts. And then there's also obviously YouTube and Twitch. So either if you're watching on YouTube, come join us on Twitch Wednesday at 3 p.m. Or if you're on Twitch, go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Bit of social plug in there.
Yeah, why not? Cool. Thanks, Matt. Right, let's run the outro. I think we're done. Thank you very much.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
Bye.